Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Today we have two guests on the channel, Aaron and Austin from Altcoin Daily. They run a YouTube channel with over 1 million followers, as well as over 1 million followers on Twitter. So first of all, if you don't follow them, I would encourage you to go follow them. They've actually been making videos well before I was, back in since February of 2018. So they started making videos more or less at the near the beginning of the 2018 bear market, and I mean they stuck with it throughout the entire thing, and they were making videos throughout the entire 2018 bear market. That was encouraging to see them stick with it for sure, and definitely provides encouragement for other people to start YouTube channels, I think. But Aaron and Austin, it's a pleasure to have you here. We have a few questions to go through, so thanks for coming on the channel.
Great to be here. Yeah, I remember in the depths of the bear market making a video or two alleging that Bitcoin could get to maybe $11,000 someday, or maybe even twenty thousand
Yeah.
dollars, and they were like, "Oh, no, let it get past 5,000 first." People are so angry when the market stays down for a while.
Right, they forget what's possible. They forget like what it can do because it hasn't done that in so long. um,
And the thing is, humans have tiny little lizard brains, so they can't. This is not a diss to anybody. It's me too. You can't comprehend exponential growth. When Bitcoin was at $100, people thought $10,000 was crazy, moon boy talk, and it happened. And nobody knows which coins can do that.
yeah, it's completely true. Um, so I think to start off with, just so to people get a brief sort of introduction to your channel. You guys are always covering the latest news. You're talking about tons of different cryptocurrencies, and obviously your name is or the YouTube channel's name is Altcoin Daily. So I was curious, do you mainly just talk about altcoins, or in your own portfolio does Bitcoin have, say, like its own special place that you always have to have Bitcoin? What is your thinking on say a portfolio in terms of Bitcoin and altcoins?
Well, first off, Benjamin, I just want to echo Aaron's statement and say thank you for inviting us. Awesome to be here. We're a big fan of you, and we've had you on our channel before. Always love the collabs. And I'm actually going to let Aaron kick this off because he actually started Altcoin Daily, invited me in about a month later. So he chose the name. So Aaron.
I got in early and then told Austin to buy my Altcoin Daily YouTube channel bags. No, just kidding. That was a stretch for a joke. But anyways, yeah, I mean, the original intention with the name Altcoin Daily was we're talking about the whole market. Nobody knows, what is going to be the killer dApps or killer coins or killer whatever that breaks through. And we don't want to be limited to say we're an Ethereum channel, we're a Cardano channel, we're a Bitcoin channel. The original intention is we're talking about the whole market, whichever's most relevant, most interesting. Now, at the time, I had, no idea there was this, big war between the Bitcoiners and the altcoiners, and some of them didn't like each other. It was never anti-Bitcoin, and actually, at certain points, obviously Bitcoin is fundamentally different. We can all admit that. Bitcoin is like my savings account. Really, rather than just storing money in a bank, I like to store some money in Bitcoin. And then altcoins are more speculative plays, and there's a whole spectrum in between. I guess at any given time, hardcore altcoin people will call us Bitcoin maximalists, or Bitcoiners will call us, shitcoiners. It's just like these trolls and tribal people in the comments. By the way, you know what? I'll save that for a little bit. I guess before I throw it over to Austin, I just want to say, yeah, we covered the whole market. For people at home wondering, should I be more Bitcoin, more altcoin? We follow the market every single day. I wouldn't expect a normal person to take on as much risk as we do, because
Right.
when the more altcoins you have, the more risk you're managing. But more risk, more reward, so it goes.
Right.
And I would just add on to that. To me, I started as a Bitcoiner. Aaron started as a Bitcoiner. And I consider myself, at least, a little more risk averse, even though we're in the crypto market, meaning that I'm a more long term hodler, one. And two, I don't like to take on a whole lot of risk. So I want to find those projects that I believe in the most. I think they have the best product market fit, and they are what I think are going to be here for the long term. So for me personally, Bitcoin doesn't just hold a special place in my heart or my portfolio. it's over 50% of my portfolio just because I'm never going to regret owning more Bitcoin in the long run. While the farther down coin market cap you get, it gets incredibly more speculative, right? All the altcoins, the majority of the altcoins that were here in 2017, over 50% are not here today. But Bitcoin's going for the use case of money. It's the most decentralized, it's the most censorship resistant, and that's what I feel most comfortable hodling long term.
I mean, I think that makes sense. And even, I mean, you guys, when you first started covering the markets in 2018, there's got to be some coins there in the top 10 that there might be some newer investors wouldn't even have heard of today. I mean, obviously we'll have remembered them, but some of them tend to move down a few ranks through the years. Which actually brings me to another question. What are some of the projects? It's easy to, I mean, we can talk about, today, but what were some of the projects back then in 2018 that you really followed a lot? And no matter the downtrend, right? The downtrend lasted for a while, but what were some of the projects you were focused on back in 2018? And then, did you see them sort of blossom in 2020 and 2021? What were some of your favorite projects back then?
A walk to remember, memory lane, remembering the good times, the moon projects of 2017, 2018. First of all, before I name a few, I do want to just say I'm always looking towards the future, and I do like to go on other channels and find out what, Benjamin, the people in your audience, what coins does your audience like? And I will be checking the comments of this video. And if a lot of people, vote up a comment, I'll certainly check it out. Maybe we'll cover it on my channel. I'll certainly look more into it.
I'll be looking too.
Okay, to answer your question, I mean, dude, it's like Cardano, Tron. Dude, all my friends were getting in on Tron. I remember I bought Tron near the top at like 12 cents, and I was like, oh, it shot up to 21 cents, and I was feeling good. And then I don't think it ever did anything like that again. I know the CEO's left. I remember Power Ledger. Power Ledger was a big one. I remember Utrust. I remember Theta. And actually, there's probably plenty of others. There are plenty of others that just got delisted from like Cryptopia and all the sussy exchanges. But I mean, you can remember things like Cardano and Theta because survivorship bias.
Right, they're still here.
Yeah, and in the past year, they've actually gone up versus when I bought them in 2018 or whenever I did, or 2017. And yeah, that's what I remember.
I would say I really go crazy for those layer ones, and especially in the depths of the bear market. I sort of like tried to cover all L1s as if they were relatively equal, and over time, some sort of separated from the pack. So back then, it would have been obviously Ethereum, but the competitors, Cardano, Binance, Tron, Zilliqa was a big L1. I feel that was a little more prevalent in 2018. Still around, still making progress, but hasn't really come up. And obviously, Tron slowly left the conversation. Binance coin's still very much relevant. It's not. I'm not saying I was invested in those coins, but on this channel, people subscribe to get just a general sense of the market. And as some slowly stopped making news, and some actually we were seeing make progress, those are the coins that kept on my radar.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's crazy too because during those times we saw all of those coins retrace a ton. I mean, ADA was like it had to have dropped like 90 something percent, right, from the peak in 2018.
It was like I think the peak was around $1.30, and it touched like 2 cents in the depths of the bear market. Spent a lot of time around 10 cents.
It's crazy to me that it went from like $1.30 down to 2 cents, and then now it's back, and then it went to $3, and now it's back to $1. It's all over the place.
I was buying some at 30 cents, but I, when it was 2 cents, I was fudding it, dude. The bear market got to me. I should have bought more.
Yeah, that was actually one of the few coins that I was able to I didn't have a huge portfolio back in, like a huge, say, diversified portfolio. Like I didn't have like 20 coins or anything back in 2018 or 2019. I tried to keep a pretty tight ship on some of that, but that was actually one of the few ones I did have during the bear market, and it was some brutal times for sure. But I guess now we've spoken about some of those coins, and I think most of those coins that you mentioned, the audience will be familiar with. Maybe there's a couple that they don't fully know much about, and that's sort of the point, right? Like we don't always know what coins are going to be around in a few years. And going back to that's why Bitcoin is a solid choice in a portfolio. But what about today? As we and let's not put a time frame on it, like say like 6 months or 12 months. Let's just say, all right, well, if you're thinking about the next several years, what projects or what sectors excite you the most today? And we talked about what happened, about 2018. What about today? What do you see as some of the big things coming forward over the next few years?
Yeah, first of all, just to mention a couple others from back in the day, I remember Linda Coin, piece of S privacy coin. I remember Benji Coin. Now I'm starting to remember the real.
Do you
the real
remember?
janky
Do
ones.
you remember BBQ coin in 2013?
2013, dude. I didn't even know about it.
It hit number 11 by market cap in 2013.
Tasty.
It was a simpler time.
Cool. The start of the food themed coins wasn't even DeFi, but anywho, thinking towards the future, which is what we like to do. I mean, there are a lot of things that interest me. I mean, for the past year, we've been seeing even the blue chip DeFi coins consolidating, and they're not at all-time highs. So I think, especially with people like institutions, people like Mr. Wonderful, Mark Cuban, those type of people coming in, they seem to be really interested in DeFi. So I think the quality DeFi coins which are getting used, I think that could certainly have a run. We just interviewed Raul Paul on our channel. He said something similar. I think just like if 2021 was the year of NFTs, I think we're still pre the year of play to earn games.
Mm-hmm.
Now, whether that's this year or next year, who knows? But I think we're still way before that gets wildly popular like NFTs are. I think layer twos will continue to be popular because Ethereum gas fees are sickening, even though I'm still bullish on Ethereum. But I'm also bullish on Ethereum interoperators and competitors like Elrond, Polkadot, Solana. And of course, just, that's what I'm thinking. Austin?
Plain and simple, I am even more bullish on L1s coming off of 2018 and 2019. And I mentioned this next statement on other podcasts before, but Kathy Wood said something very interesting. Notable investor of ARK Invest, has a great POV into the investor's mindset, institutional mindset.
Right.
She made this comparison that back in the dot-com bubble, all the value accrued to the businesses and the websites built on top of the internet. Obviously, meaning you couldn't invest in the underlying protocol. What we're seeing now, and what she thinks we'll continue to see, is the value accrued to those underlying chains as it works out what can be built on those L1 protocols. So again, going along with I'm a little more risk averse. I'm into those longer term holds. I'm big into Ethereum, big into Cardano. I wish I got into Solana. I don't own any. I think Aaron does. And any of those L1s that are clearly making progress and we're clearly seeing implementing.
So really, I mean, the key things that you guys are watching are layer ones and the play to earn stuff. Which I agree that the play to earn gaming, it does seem like something that's coming. The only thing I've wondered about is, how does it? Is it? I think one of the biggest challenges has been, you have sort of developers you have crypto guys that, like the crypto side, and they're trying to make a game to go with it. I think it'd be cool if you get the gaming industry to incorporate the crypto part. So then you have like the really cool games, and then, the incorporating the other side of it. Maybe that'll
Totally.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see that being huge. If
the game needs to be fun,
right,
and
yeah.
just how I think about the cryptocurrency market, because we've named some broad verticals, different sectors in crypto, but the way I like to think about the cryptocurrency market, this is simplifying it, but the key to being successful with Bitcoin is hodling. The key to being successful in crypto is adapting. Think back to 2021. Did anybody know it'd be the year of, NFTs and, alternative layer ones? No. Maybe. Like, I was pretty bullish on Ethereum, but I could have hunkered down, stayed in my ways, and not think, no, the rest of the world is, dumb. But no, that's not what you do. You adapt, you learn new things, and you just try and stay vigilant.
Right. You have to be somewhat reactive to the market. Well, I mean, because you guys cover the news like all the time. Are there are there certain developments going on that you're surprised more people aren't talking about, or are there things that have caught your eye recently that you see as really bullish or eye-opening for certain sectors or certain parts of crypto? So we know we sort of answered that question already, but if there's anything else.
Let me paint this picture, Benjamin. The ex-CEO of Twitter, Jack Dorsey, left Twitter, is now full-time Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
The YouTube's ex-head of gaming left YouTube, is now full-time Polygon. Probably nothing. Those are just some of the CEOs that we're watching come into this new innovative space. I'll also add on to that, Walmart just put in the patents to launch their own cryptocurrency, which is crazy. They're also trying to get into the metaverse as well by filing some patents for their products. Let me think. On top of that, Bitcoin mining, Intel is launching or putting in the work for their own mining chips. So even though prices are declining, it's crazy that if you look at what's happening underneath the hood, behind the scenes, all these companies are getting in, trying to get in on the ground floor, quote unquote, and put in the infrastructure so they can take advantage of this new innovative realm.
Let me go even further. Benjamin, do you know the coin that more VCs, different VCs, own than any other coin? Let's take Bitcoin and Ethereum out of it. What's the coin?
What's the coin that more VCs own?
Meaning like the most distributed out of like the family offices and VCs.
USDC.
I mean,
the correct.
Or go ahead.
Yes,
I would be taking a random guess. I don't know.
Ben, let's hear it.
I mean, it could be a stable coin if it's not a stable coin.
No, I'm not talking about stable coins.
Okay. Think of layer one. Solana?
Benjamin, it is Polkadot.
Polkadot. Okay.
If you look into the research, it is Polkadot. So that's a piece of news that more people should know about. I think that's telling.
How do they know?
Watch what they do, not what they say. Because I mean, whether they have to disclose, I don't know. It's from Masari. It's from a trusted data analytics. Besides that, other pieces of news: leaked images. And OpenSea did not confirm this, but leaked images from OpenSea, the most popular Ethereum-based NFT secondary marketplace on the planet, looks like, based on leaked pictures, incorporating with Solana. And I've always said, we need an NFT marketplace where you can buy ETH NFTs and Sol NFTs and DOT or Bitcoin, whatever it is. That's a piece of news. And then the final piece of news, Benjamin, that I think more people should know about. It was widely reported that Cathie Woods of ARK Invest is predicting a $1 million Bitcoin by 2030. And it's way more than just that sentence. She broke it down. But what was less reported in that report is that she's predicting an Ethereum price of 180,000 in that same time frame. Now, in the report, she talked about what ETH's market cap could be. And then she did a little bit more. And then you just have to extrapolate the price. And that's really news that everybody talked about Cathie Woods and Bitcoin. Nobody talked about her suggesting that ETH could hit a price point of $180,000 by 2030.
I mean, that'd be incredible if it did. It's sometimes hard to imagine these prices, but then I also think back to 2015 when Ethereum was trading, or Ether was trading for $1, and now it's trading for over 2,000.
Cathie Woods doesn't have a lizard brain, that's for sure.
That's actually, so that's the, one of the things I keep thinking to myself is like, there's so many smart people, right, that they see the future. I mean, you have, as you said, you have the ex-CEO of Twitter who literally quit his job and is now diving, deep into Bitcoin. And then sometimes I just kind of, as I'm like sitting around, I'm like thinking to myself, a country just bought the dip. Like a country is buying the dip. And some of these things that are going on today, like, and with like, you have Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy. And I mean, even Tesla, they still, I mean, I know they've sort of rolled back some of what they did initially, but they still bought $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin. This is stuff back in 2017, 2018. Like it was hard to imagine that kind of stuff, where small countries buy the Bitcoin dip. So it does seem like, we're heading in the right direction, even if price.
You would have been laughed at, Ben, back in the day. You would have been called a moon boy.
Yeah.
You would have said a small country is going to be buying Bitcoin, or Elon Musk is going to be buying Bitcoin with Tesla's money. Yeah,
and here we are. And here we are. And now we have, I'm sure you guys have seen on Twitter, like you have all like, McDonald's and Wendy's and Burger King all tweeting about crypto and stuff.
Yeah. I'm sure Twitter's going to verify your little JPEG. Yeah, right, bro.
Yeah. It's definitely a changing landscape, and it's changing quickly too. All right, well, I want to ask one more question, and then we'll go ahead and wrap it up. I think the hardest thing for people right now is the downtrend that the Bitcoin has been in for the last, more or less 2.5 months. And I mean, look, I watched your guys' channel in 2018, and when you guys first launched it, it was, there weren't many channels, back then, and you guys stuck through it, even when the market was, super bearish, when a lot of other people sort of just left and did their own thing, and then came back a few years later. You guys stuck through it. So I guess the question I would have is, what type of encouragement would you have for newer people that got in 2021, and they're having a hard time, looking past tomorrow or next week or next month? What are some strategies that you guys use to keep it, to keep it long term, and to basically not lose sight of where we're headed?
I would say, for me personally, always have a plan before you invest. And in these times of uncertainty or extreme volatility, go back to your original plan and ask fundamentally, did anything change? Like for me, just looking at Bitcoin and Ethereum, like in the depths of the bear market, when I was, putting $100, $1,000, whatever into Bitcoin when it was ranging between 6 and 12K. Like me personally, in my mind, I said, I am holding this at least 5 years. I am not trying to sell it at 60K. I might take some profits, one at a time range and two at a price range if it's, goes to 100K or whatever it is. But for me personally, 60K is not enough. I will hold because I believe in the underlying asset. And I'm looking at all the things that make up the network value, like the hash rates, transactions, etc., and just adoption in general. And looking at that and understanding that hasn't changed, we're seeing more adoption than ever for that. Then my original plan hasn't changed. And if you believe Bitcoin is going plus $100,000 eventually, then dips can be a gift, although it's never fun. I would say if you invested in some random altcoin and you're getting destroyed right now, let that be a lesson too, and just in terms of risk management, and don't get over leveraged, and just always keep learning, always keep recalibrating, and find the investments that work for you in your time preference.
There's so much that I could say. Where do I even begin? How do I manage during these tough times? Because honestly, what we've witnessed in the past 6 months or so is not what I expected to happen. Me, like many people, were expecting your, longer cycles to not be played out. I was expecting that 4-year cycle, Ben. It didn't happen, but now we're here. What do I do? Um, I mean, number one, like zoom out, zoom out. If you anybody who's held Bitcoin for even less than 4 years, like 3.8 years, it has made money, and even more than that. Just take a look what's going on. In 2014, there was one exchange, Mt. Gox. It got hacked and the price crashed. Top of 2017, there were a few more exchanges, but I remember at the top of the bull market, right before it turned, exchanges were turning people away. They could not handle onboarding new users, at least in America. Binance wasn't even a thing. It just barely got started. And now it's the biggest exchange in the world. Now, cut to today, 4 years later, PayPal's, selling, offering cryptocurrency, Facebook, Instagram, Walmart, Twitter, all getting into NFTs. It's just this kind of stuff makes me realize that this isn't like a 1 or 2 year thing. This is a decade-long thing, and we're at the forefront of this. And I guess finally, yeah, I don't know, man. It's just, you just got to keep doing your own research. And oh, yeah, I mean, just in order to not get burnt, you ought to think about making a plan to realize some profits. If you don't think you're going to be able to handle it, make a plan. Say, oh, a year from now, no matter what the price is, maybe I'll sell 10%. Maybe I'll take out my initial investment, or just, learn proper money management is a big thing. Sure. And then, of course, always keep a moon bag.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's great advice. People need longer time horizons, I think, as you guys said. It's one of the biggest things. Is just try to take a step back and kind of see what's going on in the space. And people are innovating. It's just a matter of time before things look better. Look, guys, I don't want to take up any more of your time, but it's been a pleasure having you on. I will remind people that we will have the link to their YouTube channel down in the description below, and I'll pin it in the comments as well. So make sure you guys go check out their Altcoin Daily YouTube channel. You can also follow them on Twitter. We'll have that linked as well. And again, they have one of the biggest crypto YouTube channels out there. I mean, at over 1 million. There aren't that many that are over 1 million. So congratulations on those milestones. But again, it's a pleasure having you here, guys. And I will see you hopefully again in the future. We can do more of these collaborations.
Thank you so much, Benjamin. And yeah, Benjamin Cowan audience, come on, say hi. Come on in the comments, say, hey, I'm from Benjamin Cowan's channel, and that way we'll know his audience is strong. And I just want to, finally say, Ben, thank you for having us on. Huge fan of your channel. Everybody, you go on the Reddit threads, you go on any thread, they say Benjamin Cowan is one of the best in the space, and I agree with that.
Thanks.
I echo that. Thanks, man.
All right, thanks. Bye.